Rodrygo walked into this season carrying expectation and questions in equal measure, but nothing could have prepared him for the gut punch of being left out of Brazil's latest squad. The omission landed like an alarm bell, not just a managerial tweak, but a clear public signal. Selection is no longer guaranteed. The coach's words were short and unmistakable, effectively placing the onus on the player to seek explanation if he wanted one. It was a line that carried more weight because of who said it and the context in which it was said. That bluntness has kicked off a debate about form, fitness, and the ruthless logic of national team building. What makes this moment so perilous for Rodrygo isn't only the sting of being overlooked, it's the timing. On the international stage, two teenagers exploded into prominence in the same window he was sidelined. A sensational overhead kick from a Chelsea youngster rewrote highlight reels, and a composed attacking display from another young wide man who created chances and earned rapturous praise after. The game. When fresh faces produce moments of magic in the Maracana, selectors take notice. When they do it while established stars pause, the tide can turn very quickly. Those performances are not abstract. They change selection math overnight and create a narrative of momentum that can be hard for incumbents to reverse. Back at club level, Rodrygo's situation compounds the fragility. The last season closed with him fighting for minutes, and the new campaign has brought more competition and rotation than many anticipated. A coach who demands physical readiness and match rhythm will find it easier to justify choosing someone who is playing regularly and producing decisive moments. In other words, every minute on the bench at Real Madrid now reads like lost leverage in the race to Brazil's World Cup roster. The club versus country dynamic has always mattered, but right now it sits at the heart of Rodrygo's dilemma. To reclaim his Seleção spot, he must first reassert himself domestically. The selection itself reflects a broader tactical and cultural reset. The new national coach, a manager with the prestige of multiple club trophies and a reputation for clear merit-based decisions, appears intent on testing depth and refreshing the options on the wings. This is not purely punitive, it's strategic. With World Cup qualifiers becoming a stage for experimentation, once qualification is assured, the coach is using the window to build alternatives, to see who can handle pressure in a packed stadium and at altitude. For players like Rodrygo, that means the margin for error has narrowed. Where once reputation and past form might buy patience, the present moment rewards immediate impact. So what can Rodrygo do? The pathway back is simple in concept but brutally hard in execution. Play more, influence games when on the pitch, and show consistent fitness and form. He must convert minutes into measurable contributions, goals, assists, game-changing plays, and do it in the next run of fixtures so the narrative can be flipped from a left out to unavoidable selection. Equally important is communication. While the coach's public message suggested openness to explanation, the burden is now on the player to demonstrate urgency rather than entitlement. The coming weeks at club level will therefore feel like a mini World Cup for Rodrygo, where every touch matters and every substitution is judged by more than one crowd. But this story isn't only about threat, it's also about opportunity. The rise of young stars in Brazil's right flank offers a blueprint for renewal. Energetic, fearless and hungry, the kind of profile modern managers crave when building a long-term project. For the national team, discovering new attacking options is a win, regardless of who temporarily lost a place. For fans, the drama adds spice to the season. Will Rodrygo fight back and become the comeback story? Or will the sensational teenagers write a new chapter in Brazil's attacking lineage? The answer will depend on performances, locker room dynamics, and the small, merciless decisions coaches make when choosing between reputation and form. Ultimately, Rodrygo's omission is a headline that forces a bigger conversation about modern football. How quickly fortunes can flip, how selection philosophies evolve, and how players adapt under pressure. For a 24-year-old whose peak years should be approaching, this is a test of character more than talent. The season ahead will tell us whether this was a warning shot, a temporary recalibration, or the start of a longer decline that could cost him a place at the World Cup. Either way, the story will unfold in real time. On the pitch, in front of millions, where football's harshest truths are decided by seconds, not sympathy.